Hey everybody! So, in conjunction with our Nutrition and Kilimanjaro video, I'm going to be doing a special test on myself. So for the month of September, which is starting tomorrow, I'm kind of scared about it, I'm going to be going caffeine and sugar free for the entire month. So obviously we know the negative effects of these two substances on our health, but at the moment I am definitely treating myself with both caffeine and sugar, probably on a daily basis. So I want to reduce my dependence on it and just make myself accountable and try to prove to myself and to others that I can do it and try to be healthier while preparing for this climb. I'm going to be giving up two of my favorite things. I know you're just as curious as I am as to what's going to happen. Dr. Aliyah Alibhai is a naturopathic doctor practicing in Toronto, Ontario. She's not only climbed Mount Kilimanjaro before, she's also climbed Mount Kenya. She was able to offer some tips based on her expertise as well as her personal experience on the optimal nutrition required for a high altitude climb.
So typically before climbing or training for any big event, I would recommend making sure that you're eating healthy, you're having whole foods, so as many fresh foods as you can get into your body and your system. That will nourish your cells, give your body the proper nutrition it needs. And then just focusing on a balanced diet, so making sure you're balancing the amount of protein you're getting, the amount of carbohydrates, and the amount of vegetables you're taking in as well. So always more vegetables helps your cells, gets nutrient dense foods into your system. And then avoiding refined foods, pre-packaged, pre-prepared, just because you're not getting as much nutrients out of that. So you'll get a more balanced meal if you're having whole, fresh foods. So minimize refined foods, decreasing alcohol. I would even suggest not having alcohol leading up to the climb and waiting until even after. Some people drink like once they hit the peak, but I find that will also decrease your performance as you're climbing. So just getting a well-balanced diet throughout.
It's September 4th. That means it's 4 days after I've started my 1 month no caffeine and no sugar challenge. To be honest, I thought I was going to be a lot more fatigued than what I actually am. So I think part of this could be due to the fact that I'm trying to keep my sugar levels up by having some fruit instead of processed sugar, what I normally have in other foods. The one time that I've noticed that I am fatigued is usually in the evenings. So in a way that hasn't been that bad because I've just been fatiguing a little bit earlier than normal, going to sleep a little bit earlier than normal, and getting more hours of sleep, which is actually good in the long run for me. I also had thought that my mornings would be the hardest because I'm so used to my morning routine of going and get my tea or my coffee, but it actually hasn't been as bad as I thought that it would be. I'm still able to get up. I'm a little bit sluggish, more so than normal, but I'm able to do things normally and get myself up and get going. I think things are going okay so far. So that's day 4.
The best thing that I found was helpful was carrying gummy candies. This was most helpful when I was, I think, about 45 minutes from the peak. That's when I started experiencing the altitude sickness, and having gummy candies was something that I could just put in the side of my mouth and release quick, simple sugars, giving me the energy that I needed. Other helpful snacks would probably include like nuts and seeds. Again, good protein, quick energy. You could probably even take some chocolate as a nice snack or treat. And then even having peanut butter just to add on to your meals as an add-on, and then to supplement your diet there. Totally. And then even protein bars. I didn't find that I used them very often, but maybe having 1 or 2 handy. So whether they're Lara bars or the Elevate Me bars, those are the ones I would typically recommend, just having on hand. So again, like high fat, like deep fried foods, packaged, very refined foods, like chips, It's good as a snack, but they also give you popcorn up there that they make fresh. So they really prepare you with all the foods that you're going to have up at the top and throughout your climb. So just getting healthier snacks that offer quick energy is probably the most beneficial, and then avoiding like fatty foods and high sugar. It's more quick energy, but you'll end up crashing faster, and then you probably won't feel well if you're eating things that are harder to digest. So you want to keep them simple, easy to digest foods so that you're not having tummy aches or not having diarrhea or constipation while you're up on the mountain.
I was craving caffeine because that's normally what I do when I don't have enough sleep, is I just reach for that coffee or reach for that tea, but this time I couldn't. So I've just been noticing I just need to sleep the right amount of hours, like at least 7.5 to 8 hours, and I'm not bad. The other thing that I noticed is I had to really, really resist my cravings. This is probably one of the first times where I actually had to say no to something I really wanted. So I really hope that I can continue this after this 1 month challenge is over. Just more discipline, more motivation to be good and be healthy.
So hydration is extremely important. Before you want to practice and get into the habit of making sure you're hydrated and drinking lots of fluids. And then as you're climbing, you want to make sure you're getting at least 3 to 4 liters throughout the day. And it's important not only while you're climbing to drink water, but also when you're finished climbing at the end of the day, just making sure that you're still drinking enough water and taking in the fluids, because you're using that energy, you're using that fluid throughout the day. And you might sweat, probably not so much when you're up in the cold, but throughout the day you're going to be sweating, so you want to make sure you're replenishing that and giving that hydration to your blood.
I'm definitely tired, but right now I'm finding a little bit of sluggishness, and I kind of just want a pillow, go to sleep somewhere. I had a question, how I am able to cut out sugar, because it's kind of in everything. I'm still eating starches, so I'm still eating like sweet potato, and breads. So that portion of sugar is still there. It's just the processed sugars that I'm not having anymore. Hopefully it'll get better. I'm positive.
In terms of supplements, I recommend always traveling with a probiotic. Probiotics are good bacteria, so especially when you're climbing, you're eating different foods, you're in a new country, you're more susceptible to travelers' diarrhea, and just in case there is some contamination on the food, having beneficial bacteria can kind of counteract that reaction that your body might have. So probiotics are a must. Another one is making sure you take electrolytes with you. I wouldn't recommend Gatorade or Powerade, those kind of things. Powdered electrolytes are easier to carry, and that will help maintain electrolyte balance and proper fluid balance, and it'll ensure recovery. So once you're done climbing, having a good balance of electrolytes might help your system reset a little faster before going on to the next day. And then always having a B complex. So anytime your body is under stress, you're doing more activity, B vitamins are cofactors in a lot of your body's reactions. So restoring those and getting a good balance of that will also help replenish and give you more energy. And then the last one is making sure that you have enough iron. So prior to climbing, you want to get your iron levels checked and make sure you're not deficient, because that can really affect you once you're at higher altitudes, just in terms of oxygen intake. So making sure that you have adequate iron levels before planning a big climb is always a good idea.
Now I think things are actually looking up. I'm more energetic, especially in the afternoons. That would be my worst time. I would always get sleepy. I would always need caffeine or sugar or some kind of pick-me-up in the afternoon, but now I'm not needing it as much. Because of the processed sugar that I've given up, I'm definitely craving salt a lot more. So anything that's salty, that doesn't have sugar in it, I'm trying to avoid it, but there are strong cravings for it. A lot of it is mental, and it's all in your mind, and I guess in a way I'm strengthening my mind to be prepared for something like this. And hopefully because of this challenge, I can look forward and be open to giving up other things that I know are not so positive in my life.
A lot of people ask about caffeine and climbing, and I would say that if you're used to having caffeine on a regular basis, it might be a good idea to continue, just because it can give you that little pick-me-up, a little bit of boost. But if you're not used to drinking caffeine, I would say don't start drinking caffeine while you're on the mountain, just because too much caffeine can give you the jitters. Although it does improve concentration, it can give you the jitters. It can also give people upset stomach and diarrhea, and that's the last thing you want to start experiencing when you're climbing a mountain.
So definitely my sugar-free and caffeine-free month, I think, was a good idea, because not just in terms of the actual nutrition aspect of it, which was, now speaking to Dr. Alibhai, was a great idea. It also prepared me for the mental challenge that faces me ahead, and after speaking to her a little bit more about it, I know it's just as much of a mental and mind challenge as it is a physical challenge. So you got to get your mind and your body prepared for this, and I think I'm on my way. Thanks to Dr. Aliyah Alibhai for giving us some nutrition tips for climbing at high altitudes. I think I feel a lot more prepared now, just speaking to her and getting all this information about just little tips and snacks that can be taken, not just during the climb, but also before the climb as well, which I didn't realize was such an important component. So, as always, do not forget to like the video if you like what you're seeing, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Posture Me Perfect. Stay tuned for the next video.